Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Sunday Live Battlegrounds 2016's election debates. And today we're coming to you, this program is brought to you by the SABC News on SABC 1, on DSTV channel 404, and we're broadcasting today from Shayandima, the Christian Worship House, because today and this week the battleground is Thulamela Municipality in Limpopo. And with this municipality being the largest in the province, 657,000 people that make up Thulamela, this is, I suppose, an exciting part of the province and a hot battleground for the various parties that are contesting in the upcoming local government elections. My name is Peter Ndoro. It's my great pleasure to be your moderator for this week's debate. And it's a part of the world that a lot of people across the country may have heard through some of the news items that we've carried. Malamlele, for example, Vuwani, for example. Demarcation has taken place in this part of the world, and so these municipalities are going to look slightly different after August 3. But service delivery is also another issue that's come up in this part of the province. But we're going to unpack that as we introduce to you some of the parties that are going to be contesting in the local government elections. So let me start on my left and say welcome to the Democratic Alliance represented, Jacques Smuller. Thank you very much for joining us and welcome to you.
Thank you very much and good evening to the listeners. Thank you.
Next to you we have from the EFF, Advocate Rindani Munyai, welcome to you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And to my right, representing the African National Congress, Joe Maswanganyi. Thank you very much for joining us. And representing the Congress of the People, Coke Party, we have Percival Balibali.
Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Peter, and good evening to all the listeners out there.
All right. Okay. So, as you can hear, we've got a very enthusiastic audience here representing their various political parties. But let's find out from the various representatives of these parties just exactly what the residents of this municipality can look forward to should you give them their vote. Let's start with the Democratic Alliance. Your manifestos on your website and everywhere, but in a minute, please explain to the viewers at home and also the constituents here, what is the Democratic Alliance promising to the residents of Thulamela?
Look, our manifesto is based on the values that are on the principles of freedom, fairness and opportunities. We creating governments that deliver quality basic services, taking into account the injustices of the past, rectifying those things and creating job opportunities for the thousands and the millions of South Africans out there.
Okay, so your message is pretty straightforward and clear. All right, so the economic freedom fighters, they're the new kid on the block. But you've had time to get your message together. And what is your message to the voters of Thulamela?
The message to the voters of Thulamela will be that EFF is promising them that this is going to be a municipality for the poor of the poorest, wherein we will want to make sure that there is free education, free basic services to the elder people, and making sure that within the municipality as it is, those people that will be manufacturing things then will be sold within the specific municipality. For example, here in Thulamela, wherein we find that if a spa is selling products, it must sell products that is coming from around the municipality of Thulamela.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much indeed, Advocate Rindani Munyai. And now we have a representative from the ruling party, Joe Maswanganyi.
The African National Congress message is together advancing people's power in every community. Local government is in your hands. Our main focus for the next coming 5 years is to expand electrification into the new settlement as we have electrified all the villages in the past 5 years, also it is to increase the free basic services to the poor. It is to build more tarred roads and increase labor-absorbing activities so that we create more employment, in particular for the young people.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. So that's the message, the promises from the African National Congress. But what about the Congress of the People, COPE? Let's hear what your promises are.
Thanks, Peter. COPE is basically based on the will of the people, for the people, and with the people. It will be the government which will appoint municipal management that is skillful, capable, and competent, which will not be bullied and monopolized by the self-serving politicians as it is in the ANC-led government. This will be the government which will go to the people in order to get their challenges, submit them to the municipality in order for them to be included in the IDP. It will be the government which will always give continuous feedback to the people after each quarterly meeting.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we're going to start to unpack a lot of these issues that they've promised. Can they deliver? And hopefully by the time we finish this conversation, you'll be clearer about who you want to vote for and why.
If you look at artists, they've got one of the abilities to either form new conversations, they can paint a picture of a country, they can paint a picture of a mindset of a country.
The Cape Town-based ballet dancer recently won at the 2016 and 2017 Rolex Mentor and Prodigy Arts Initiative.
South African hip-hop right now is sitting at a level where it's Ngutu, Yippee and Roll Up. When you put them all in one room, you actually have like the ultimate super South African fan.
And you're watching Trends. Do not go anywhere. Stay right there.
Catch Trends for that 1 hour weekly dose of arts and entertainment news every Saturday from 12 to 1.
Usisiwe Jamsana, SABC News, Alice.
SABC News, Doha, Qatar. SABC News, Alice.
Diaboseto, SABC News, Geneva, Switzerland.
Thulamela Municipality-Limpopo, SABC News, Moscow, Russia.
Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.
Craig Murray, SABC News, Stellenbosch.
We bring the news back home. We keep the nation fully informed.
Hello and welcome back. We're in Thulamela today and the elections debate is underway. We just heard before the break from our various political party representatives that some of them that are going to be trying to get your votes in the upcoming local government elections. And we heard a little bit about their promises and what they hope to do should they be given a mandate by you, the voters. Well, let's now start to unpack a little further what the current state of affairs is in this part of the world. And I'm going to start with you, Congress of the People. What would you say are the main challenges that Thulamela is facing at the moment?
What I can start with, Peter, is that these municipalities have almost employed people who are incompetent. And that is why you find that this municipality, in continuous years, it was actually getting disclaimers from the audit opinion. That simply means that immediately when the municipality is failing to get the clean audit, whether it's adverse or disclaimer or qualified, you are not still yet there. And the problem you will find, Peter, the moment when the municipality is failing to get clean audit, That simply means that the service delivery is not going to the people.
All right, okay. Let's turn to the ANC. You've made promises of what you're going to do, but I guess if the service delivery protests that we've seen are anything to go by, it would mean that there are some challenges that you're still facing.
Yes, but let me set the record straight. Thulamela Municipality has received unqualified audit in the past 2 financial years. I think that record must be set straight. And that's what we mean by having a better municipality that accounts to the people. The district as a whole, where Thulamela Municipality finds itself, in the past 5 years has spent 6 billion rand to provide free basic water services to our people. But that on its own, we know that South Africa as a country is a water-stressed country. And as a result of the backlog that we have from apartheid, we are trying to cope with that backlog and will do more. And as I've said before, this is the municipality where we have electrified all villages. What is outstanding are the new extensions. And if you look in our program, we have got the program that we call Energizing Program. Okay. It's a program where the municipality has taken upon itself with its resources to electrify the new extension.
Okay.
What is remaining is to get quality control from ESCOM so that we switch on electricity in those 5 extensions.
All right, okay. Advocate, what do you see as the main challenges that need to be overcome in this province, in this municipality?
In this municipality of Thulamela, the main challenge is water. You find that in the very same municipality, which is Thulamela, we are having a dam that is Nandoni Dam. And next to that dam, there is a village called Mangondi Village. Those people still, even you are to go there today, they don't have water. And they are not far from that dam. Every day, they see a view of that dam. They see a view of that dam. And in their minds, they see water being taken from that dam to other villages or to other areas, but they are staying there. Those are the main challenges. We are talking about a project of houses, where in the current ruling government right now here in this municipality, there are projects of houses, of building houses that are incomplete. When you check what is the reason, it's because they give tenders to their friends, they give tenders to their colleagues, wherein the EFF municipality is saying we don't want tenders. We want to create jobs so that we enforce inside the municipality so that our people can get quality service delivery.
Okay, all right. So water and service delivery, big issue there. How does the Democratic Alliance see the challenges of this particular municipality?
Look, basically, jobs is a critical factor here. 38.4% of the youth in this municipality is unemployed. 54% of the people are economic not active in this municipality. 32% of the people do not have piped water. 64% of the people does not have a flush toilet at their residence. Now, if you do take that into consideration and you think, you look at the Vembe district municipality that is responsible for bulk infrastructure within this municipality and running those projects, project management is not where it should be. When we look at the latest stats where the municipality sits between the 235 municipalities, this municipality is 202. It's the 4th worst run municipality in the province. So things are not good. Accountability, there are no political leadership, there are no administration leadership.
Okay. All right. Just before, okay, thanks. Just before we go and take another break, I'm going to give you an opportunity to respond, because I think a lot of these challenges, they're laying squarely at your door. There's complaints about tenders being given to friends, complaints about unemployment, complaints about water, and you have recognized some challenges. What would you say then to your colleagues here about some of the challenges that they've put on your doorstep?
Of course, the country has got a challenge of unemployment. And as I've said, that the money that is allocated through the municipal infrastructure grant, we are going to make sure that it is labor intensive instead of applying a capital intensive methodology. Hence, if you look amongst others, from national level, we have started with a program of EPWP, which has created 5 million job opportunities. Also, as the ANC government, we are partnering with the private sector. As we speak, there is a new mall that has been finished and completed in Malamlel. It has absorbed so many young people. We have got a new mall that is coming here in Twandu. It is going to take, the new mall is going to take 1,000. Let's talk corruption. If there is a government that has ever collapsed in 2011, it was Limpopo government. And that came as a result of SGL and On Point, which are the companies that are owned by the leader of EFF. So, let's not be selective about corruption. It's there. It's on records. The report of the public protector has put it in black and white that SGL and On Point have contributed a lot in causing financial problems to the government of Limpopo.
Right. Are you suggesting...
So we should not be selective about corruption.
Are you suggesting that there is no tender irregularities, there is no corruption where the ANC is controlling?
Where there has been corruption, we have acted. Where there have been cases that have been investigated by the Auditor General, by forensic audit, either SIU and other organs of state, we have acted, including the issue of housing. Here in Thulamela, as we speak, the past 5 years, we have built more than 2,800 houses. And those developers who have been performed, the provincial government has terminated the contracts of those non-performing developers.
Some accusations have been fired your way. He's suggesting that the EFF are at the pinnacle of some of the corrupt activities that have taken place in this municipality. Your thoughts?
What I'll then say, maybe in response to my friend there, is that the president of the Economic Freedom Fighters has never worked for government. He has never sat in any tender committee wherein, if then, according to records that is saying, there was anything that our president maybe was corrupt in any way, that was ANC government, because the very same people who were issuing tenders, nothing happened to them. But our president has never even sat in any tender committee. He has never sat in any tender committee.
All right. Okay, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to start getting some questions from our parties here, and also start delving into some of the pressing issues that the new municipalities are going to have to deal with, and the results of the new demarcation is certainly one of those issues. And how do we overcome some of the underlying issues that have been coming forward, whether they're real, imagined, or perceived, about language and, dare I say, tribalism? We'll talk about that after this. Stay with us.
From the moment you start your day.
My biggest question is how I got myself here on time.
Yeah.
This is so early for a comedian, I gotta be honest.
We are there for you. We bring your morning into perspective.
As news breaks throughout the morning.
Is an investment into the future of the airports company, but also the future of our children, the future of our country, the future of the transport sector.
We'll make sure that you get the full story.
Give us quality music.
Load shedding. Listen, this winter.
It's a thing of the past. And you can count on the weather team with expertise.
Join us live at 6 a.m. daily.
The cotton field story is being told through patchwork by artists to celebrate the diaspora in America.
Vitally important in telling the stories of what is happening in the refugee crisis, migration, with questions of immigration. And I believe I, as an artist, have a moral obligation to tell these stories.
It's through paper, brush, and paint that the different faces of women are reflected by this prolific painter.
Women face a lot of challenges, discrimination, sexism, and a lot of other negative. In my paintings, I try to send a different message.
Place of the G-Men and Father Hunston's mission. Place of Balanski's and the Odin cinema, and let's never...
Join Refilwe for that 1 hour weekly dose of arts and entertainment news every Saturday at 12.
We are one of the 22 high-burden countries, and out of that we're number 6. Following countries like India, China, and with huge population.
Cough, night sweats, weight loss, and fever. And cough being the most important of those. So, and especially if the cough lasts for more than 3 weeks, then you really have to worry and get tested for TB.
The motivation is to affect behavior change, particularly with people who cough and who may be carrying the bacterium. So encouraging people to use the elbow.
For more on health, join your host Dr. Selo Motaung every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m.
Welcome back. The battlegrounds elections debates this week are in Limpopo. We're in Thulamela Municipality, which is the largest of the municipalities in this province, and one that certainly has had its challenges, particularly in the wake of demarcation rulings. And we're going to start now unpacking some of the issues from the hearts of the residents in this municipality. Let's go to the ANC. And I want you to touch on a couple of things. The first one, I guess, are these accusations that have been leveled against you. But the other is the demarcation that's happening now. We're now seeing Malamlele coming out of Thulamela and joining with Vuwani, which is coming out of Makado. So now the question is, service delivery, is it going to be affected? And I would imagine part of the reason why these residents in these areas don't want to comply with this demarcation is because they feel that they're not going to get the service that they would like. Is that a fair assumption?
No, it's not based on facts. Because if the Demarcation Board demarcate a new municipal entity, it consults in particular Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Department. And in this case, the new municipality is going to be given its equitable share in terms of the formula that is determined by the FFC nationally. So there's no way that you can create a new municipality and it does not have a budget from day one. So the FFC is going to calculate as to how much is due for the new municipality, And then above that, the Cogta National will see to it that it allocates what we call conditional grants above the equitable share. That is your municipal infrastructure grant and other grants that have to come with sanitation, housing, and many, many other conditional grants that come from various departments. And this on its own will make sure that service delivery is not disrupted. There will be no time where there will be no service delivery in the new municipality. We want to assure the residents of the new municipality that the ANC government will make sure that there will be no disruption of service delivery, and we are going to increase in terms of providing basic services like water, electricity, refuse removal.
Okay. All right. Let me just get a sense from the other political parties what their thoughts are on what demarcation, this redemarcation is going to do for service delivery, and is it just about service delivery that we got a very resistant Vuani who do not want to follow Malamulele, and why Malamulele needs to come out of Thulamela. So let's start with Cope. Your thoughts on this demarcation and what will happen afterwards in terms of service delivery, and are there other issues that we're not considering here?
Yeah, a lot of things are going to be affected here, Peter. Let us just go to the core and start by looking, why did the Malamulele people wanted their own municipality? They wanted their own municipality because they were saying part of Thulamela was one-sided. And service delivery was therefore not delivered to Malamulele. That was the first point. Secondly, Peter, there is this issue of tenders. Hence, you will get other assumptions to say people who are involved in these tender corruptions from Makado do not want to go to the new entity because they will lose positions and lose those tenders. I will unequivocally so, Peter. There is now a community-based stadium at Bungeni, which has just been opened recently. That is between 5 and 6 million, which has been paid. But the stadium at all is not playable because it is bumpy. Thanks, Peter.
Okay, all right. Okay, I hope you're taking notes because I'm going to let you respond last to all of this. But let's go to the Democratic Alliance. And again, why would someone choose to come out of a certain municipality and there's resistance to joining the next municipality? Is it just service delivery? And how can we make certain, because it's a fact, it's going to happen. If the DA was in charge, how would you bring these two peoples together and make sure that the service delivery continues?
Well, yeah, the consultation process didn't follow due process, and I think that there wasn't enough consultation process within the two newly formed entities, Malamulele and Vuvani. Secondly, there's a bigger problem coming towards the ANC come 4th of August. Just last week, the Premier made a statement from his office to say that Vuvani should not worry and they will go back to Makado Municipality following the demarcation ruling. So obviously there are two people speaking not with the same tongue. When you look at the budget of a 411 million budget that must be implemented by the Vuvani municipality, there are no appointments of staff being made as yet to manage that municipality. The Makado municipality last week took a decision to withdraw its Vuvani support within the Vuvani municipality. So they will pull out come the 3rd of August. So service delivery will have a major effect on those municipalities, on those two effects. The finances and the management of that finances and improving your operational budget by income is definitely a problem. Rates and taxes are not being taken into are not being collected by the specific municipality.
All right.
So we are seeing, we will definitely see some problems.
In a nutshell, what you're saying is that service delivery will definitely be affected in the new entity.
Yeah, definitely.
Advocate Ndani, what your thoughts?
My thoughts on the issue of service delivery are, I would say...
And also demarcation, because it's a fact, it's going to happen. August 3, Malamlele and Vuani will be Collins Chavane. Will that improve service delivery or not? And if you are running it, what are you going to do differently?
For the past 22 years, ANC has been singing the same tune of saying they will deliver better service. And then my then question will be, or my thought would then be, if they failed to deliver service to Malamlele people when they were still under Thulamela, how then are they going to deliver service to Malamlele now that Malamlele is standing on its own? And then I will say, as the EFF, we are saying to the people of Vuani, we are here for them. If they vote EFF, we will fight for them to go back to Makhado. Because if you remember, the people of Vuani never said they want their own municipality. They want to go from Makhado. If then they vote for EFF, we'll fight for them to go back to Makhado. But how then, for the past 22 years, you've been singing the very same tune, saying service delivered. How then are you going to make it or manage it now that you are having Malamlele as another municipality?
Okay, well, let's get a response then from the ANC. All you've done is create a new municipality. It's the same people running it. Will people expect the same results?
Yes, but let me also indicate, Peter, that the new municipality, let me indicate something, that the new municipality of Collins Chavane, what we are not going to allow is when people trump an ethnic card, that you have got a one municipality for Shangaan, have a municipality for Venda. People in this part of the country have been divided along ethnic boundaries, Venda, Gazankulu, and so on and so on. And what the new government is doing is trying to build a new nation. It is very important that we make sure that there is social cohesion. You can't allow a situation where somebody says, I will take the people of Vuani out of this one. That on its own, we have got history in Rwanda and everywhere, where people played with an ethnic card, and lots of lives have been lost in those countries. But after the Concord, I don't know, how do you take people somewhere back? Because the Concord has spoken. It has given a judgment. It can't be today.
Mr. Smale is saying that there's two voices that are coming, that the Premier has said something else.
We're not talking about two voices. We are talking about the Concord. The Constitutional Court has made a judgment that the Demarcation Board has followed the due process. It can't be that people respect the Concord when it is about somebody else, when it's about our president. But you don't respect the Concord when it is about something that you don't like.
We're going to take another quick break, and we'll continue this election debate right after this break. And we'll get more questions from the two other parties that are making up this audience here. Stay with us for those questions.
He appealed for the disruptions to come to an end so the future of the children is not compromised.
The union said the latest offer by Eskom will condemn its members to poverty.
Samples from the 2012 London Olympic Games and 2014 Sochi Winter Games will also be retested.
Stay tuned to News Today at 3 p.m. from Monday to Friday on SABC News.
The cotton field story is being told through patchwork by artists to celebrate the diaspora in America.
Vitally important in telling the stories of what is happening in the refugee crisis, migration, with questions of immigration, and I believe I, as an artist, have a moral obligation to tell these stories.
It's through paper, brush, and paint that the different faces of women are reflected by this prolific painter.
Women face a lot of challenges, discrimination, sexism, and a lot of other negative. In my paintings, I try to send a different message.
Place of the G-Men and Father Huntston's mission. Place of Balanskis and the Odin cinema, and let's never
Join Refilwe for that 1 hour weekly dose of arts and entertainment news every Saturday at 12.
Good afternoon, you're with the news at 1.
Welcome to Lunchtime News Amplified.
Selection of political parties by means of a lucky draw has been a common practice for the past 22 years.
We take an in-depth look at top stories of the day and live crossings to our journalists on the scene.
First time in our nation's history that a woman will be a major party's nominee.
Business news, sports update, and weather report.
Hello and welcome to News Live. I'm Natasha Thorpe. Good to have you with us.
For all things news, tune in to Midday Report, weekdays at 12 noon, only on the SABC News channel.
Welcome back. You're watching Election Debates, Battlegrounds 2016. The local government elections are literally just days away now. And you have one last opportunity to listen to the various political parties and their representations, their promises. Make up your mind who you're going to vote for on August the 3rd, because it will affect your life for the next 5 years. We'll start with the Congress of the People, Cope Party. If you could ask your question now and tell me who it's for. Is it for one person or a panel? But you only get one question.
As EBWP, as we know that it's not a permanent job. It's just a job for 2 to 3 months. So as Cope, towards Bari, how will you implement the job that will be sustainable towards youth, more especially to the youth of Thulamela, just because we are in a disadvantaged area in this area? Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Balibali, you have a minute.
Okay, thanks. The first thing we are going to do, we are going to make sure that our youth get better education. We will make it a point that we do what is called the local economic development, whereby where there are land claims, our youth are able to be given land to be tilted. Based on the yield or harvest which they will get, that harvest or production can even go to an extent of being exported to other places. And that will also be assisting in the improvement of our GDP in the country.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Let's go to the African National Congress. Who's got a question for the ANC?
My question to the African National Congress is as follows. The ANC is about building better life for the people. Now,
let's give him an opportunity. Thanks.
What plans does the African National Congress have in terms of improving the lives of people at local government level post August elections. Thank you.
All right. So, how are you going to make his and other people's lives better?
Thank you, Peter. The ANC has got a record to have improved the lives of the South African people, in particular the Africans. We have got the record of having electrified more than 5.8 million households in the whole country. And that record translates into Thulamela, where we have electrified all the households except the new extension. We have nationally, at the national level, in the past 5 years, we have provided water to 11.79 million households, free basic water. And that also translates into Thulamela, where we have got spent a lot of money extending water pipes from Nandoni Dam into lots of areas around Shkundu, around Malamulele, and many other villages.
Things move very quickly, so your minute is up. I'm sure you'll have another opportunity to add to that. But let's go to the Democratic Alliance now. What's your question?
Thank you, Peter. I want to direct this question straight to the provincial leader of Democratic Alliance, Jack Small. When the ANC says they have managed to electrify some villages while they are robbing people to pay 1,000 for electricity, how will the DA ensure proper service delivery? Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Will. I think what we should remember is that we should not first of most focus on the last 2 decades, and that we streamline it towards this. But because if we talk about building better lives for the people, when 30% of the people do not have water in areas like Bovani, Zanani, Manini, and go and fetch water in barrels, drink water with animals, they do not have a fair life and a good life. When it comes to providing services to people, basic services, it's important to know that within the Democratic Alliance that we give services to all people, and where we govern, 98% of the people do have access to water, and when it comes to electricity, nearly 86% of the people does have access to electricity. And I think that is what we have got to say. It's about giving people an equal opportunity to basic services.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much indeed. Okay, thanks so much for that. Let's go to the Economic Freedom Fighters, the EFF.
My question is directed to the EFF. But before, as I ask the question, I want to say that at least the EFF promises will be implemented, because of others, they're saying they're going to do labor-observative economy, but they've already started appointing companies to do their own work. So it means that it's another promise that is not going to be done. But the question to the EFF is that how are we going to ensure that we speed up service delivery to our people, so that people don't wait for long for services or wait for IDP that is going to be done according to someone's company? But how are we going to ensure that people get their services soon as possible? Thanks.
Okay, so speeding up service delivery seems to be his concern.
It's only the EFF municipality that is saying we'll make sure that we speed up the service delivery, in the sense that we are going to employ people permanently. We are going to do away with EPWP. We are going to do away with tenders. We are going to make sure that within the municipalities, there are people that are trained and then that are experienced. And then if they are working within the municipality, service delivery will be delivered very, very fast. Unlike when you have to go and appoint somebody to come and maybe collect refugees, to collect dummies and everything. But if then we employ people permanently that are working for the municipality, then service delivery will be delivered fast.
What do you replace the tender system with? What do you replace the tender system with? Because this is a theme that's coming up with the EFF quite a bit. Get rid of the tender system. How else would you do it?
The manner in which we are going to do it is that we are going to make sure that people are employed permanently. Like, for an instance, in Thulamela Municipality, if we are having people that are studied, who are specializing in electricity, working permanently, they will then deal with the problem of electricity fast. Unlike when you are having tenders, wherein, like now, they spoke about a taxi rank, which is not complete, because they've appointed a tenderpreneur who is only worried, who is only taking money to his own pocket, and he only cares about his family. But then now, if we are talking about people that are working there permanently, those people will make sure that service is being delivered to our people.
Okay, all right. So we've heard quite a bit, some of the promises that have been made, some of the challenges that we're facing, and how the various parties are going to try and deal with them. We're going to take another break, and then when we come back, we're going to start wrapping up our conversation, and we'll get the final words from our various representatives here, so that maybe they can help you make up your mind who you're going to vote for on August the 3rd. Stay with us.
From the moment you start your day.
My biggest question is how I got myself here on time. Yeah. This is so early for a comedian, I've got to be honest.
We are there for you. We bring your morning into perspective.
As news breaks throughout the morning,
is an investment into the future of the airports company, but also the future of our children, the future of our country, the future of the transport sector.
We'll make sure that you get the full story.
Give us quality music. Load shedding. Listen, this winter.
It's a thing of the past. And you can count on the weather team with expertise.
Join us live at 6 a.m. daily.
Welcome back. We're starting to wrap up our conversation here in Thulamela. This is the battleground for 2016 in Limpopo, and it's the biggest municipality in the province at the moment. Slight demarcation changes will take place. Thulamela will still be there, but without Malamlele, and it'll still have quite a sizable population, I think over 500,000 people, so it's a big prize for the parties that are contesting. Now, what is clear is that since the last local government elections, a lot of things have happened. We've had new entrants come into the equation, and we're seeing people that have swapped sides, defected, and all sorts of actions taken by people on the ground. So the ANC, clear leader in their last local government elections, will it still be the same? And in fact, we may be in a situation this time around where maybe some of these parties will have to work together in coalition. But I'm going to ask them, and they must answer me very briefly, and I'm going to start with the Democratic Alliance. If it comes down to it, and nobody gets a clear majority, would the Democratic Alliance be prepared to enter into coalition with some of the parties that also didn't quite get over the line?
We will have got to work together with certain political parties that share the same values and principles that we share. So from time to time, we're going to differ with each other, and we will not see eye to eye. But depending on the issue, I'm sure we will work together, but at this stage, we will cross that bridge when we get there. At this stage, it's all about the Democratic Alliance and what our offer is, and that offer is a better future for the people of South Africa.
What about the EFF?
As the economic freedom fighters, we are prepared to enter into a coalition, except we'll never enter into a coalition with ANC. Because then now, if we find a situation wherein voters, the ANC has voters voted for the ANC and they got only less than 40%, then what are we saying? Because EFF is saying, is the hope to the mass, to the poor of the poorest, which means our people will be telling us that they are tired with ANC. So EFF is prepared to enter into coalition except with ANC.
Okay, very clear point there. Are you willing to form coalitions with some of your partners here?
You will have to remember, Peter, that COPE was formed on the basis of upholding the Constitution, and it believes in equality before the law. And as such, it also respects all Chapter 9 institutions. So if there is any party who would like to form an alliance with us, we will take that as long as it will be people-centered.
Okay.
People will have to enjoy their basic rights. Thanks, Peter.
Even with the African National Congress?
No, except this one. Other parties, except the ANC.
Okay. All right. So this is now perhaps one of the most important points for you at home. This is the last opportunity for our panelists to give you their final thoughts and try and convince you at home why you should vote for them. Let's start with the Congress of the People. In a minute, why should the residents of Thulamela vote for you?
If people of Thulamela can vote for us, we will assist the youth in starting their small businesses, and that will make jobs available. We will provide the youth with all sporting activities so that we are able to take our youth away from drug abuse. We will make a profile poverty level and come up with some of the means as to how we can be able to counter poverty in our communities. We will form ward committees which are all inclusive, not party-based. And at the end, we will be able to work with chiefs and therefore supply electricity to all the people, together with all other energy means. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Mr. Maswangani, why should the people of Thulamela give you another mandate?
We are going to accelerate black economic empowerment for our people to participate in the mainstream of the economy. We are going to create more jobs, in particular for young people when we roll out the infrastructure. We are going to replace the aging infrastructure. We are going to assist more SMEs. We are going to put more money into NSFAS. We are going to electrify all the villages. And we are going to make sure that all the roads are tarred in the municipality, in particular the main roads. We will also make sure that we reduce outsourcing and make sure that the projects that we embark upon are labor intensive.
Thank you very much indeed. Okay. The EFF, why should people of Thulamela consider entrusting you with their vote?
I will say to the people of Thulamela to vote for EFF because it's the only organization that is saying will offer a municipality that will be open 6 days a week.
Yep.
It's the only organization that is saying the municipality must open 6 days a week. And also, it's the only organization that is saying in each and every ward, there must be a clinic that is open 24/7. We are saying our councillor candidates must be accessible to the people. You must not find a situation wherein a councillor is elected, but the next moment he goes and resides in places like Unit D. We are saying a councillor candidate of EFF is not going to ask money or sexual favors in return for service delivery.
All right, thank you very much indeed.
We are going to allocate.
We've run out of
funds for
time.
free.
That's your minute done. And the final minute goes to the Democratic Alliance. Why should people trust you with their vote?
The fact is, where the DA governs, we govern better than anywhere else. 9 out of the top 10 municipalities are DA-run municipalities. Our unemployment stats are lower than anywhere else. Our service deliveries are pro-poor, and it reaches out to most South Africans. Our governments are accountable, are responsible, and are hard on corruption.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Okay, that's where we're going to wrap up this conversation here at Thulamela. August 3, days away. Make sure that you go out and cast your vote. Every single vote is very, very important, and it can make a difference in the kind of future that you want to see and experience. And it can only happen if everybody shows up. So please make your vote count, show up and vote on August the 3rd. From us here in Thulamela in Limpopo, it's been great having you. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.